Hey guys, it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel, or to my channel if you're new here. I hope you guys stay. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing another part of my unsolved murder mystery videos. And for today's unsolved murder mystery, I'm going to be talking about a case that is very near and dear to my heart. And no, it's not because I knew this person whatsoever. It's just because it is in a place I love, and it is just one of those stories I heard when I was younger that still gives me the chills to this day and that I still talk about. And that is the unsolved murder mystery of Natalee Holloway. We are going to get right into this video, but before we start, make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on all my social media in the description below and in the beginning of the video. And yeah, alright, let's talk about this unsolved murder mystery. So I want to put a disclaimer out there before I start talking about this. I am very passionate about music, I am very passionate about acting, but something that I've always loved and don't really talk about is criminal investigation. If I wasn't following my career as a singer, actor, etc., I would definitely be in the investigation field or looking into a job that has something to do with criminal justice and detective work and all that sort of stuff. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I get very hesitant about posting these videos about these unsolved murder mysteries because they're not my stories to tell, and these are real people who have families that are hurting and not seeking the peace that they deserve, and the poor victims aren't seeking the peace that they deserve. And the reason why I'm so hesitant to post videos like this is because I don't feel that they are my story to tell, and I don't want it to seem like I'm telling these stories just like because they're interesting and I want a lot of people to click on them. That's not it at all. The reason why I look into these stories is because I feel like it is very important to keep these stories relevant. I have a platform where I can talk to you guys and tell you guys important things, and I feel it's my job to kind of keep these people in the light and keep us remembering that these people were real people and that their families are still hurting and still wondering what happened to their child. They're not at peace. There's always going to be a part of those people's families who are seeking answers, and the victims who don't get to see the justice that they deserve. And with that said, I feel like someone who I have wanted to bring up for a long time is Natalee Holloway. She's someone who I think about constantly. I don't know why, her story just creeps me to my bones, and so I think it is important to share with you guys what I know about this investigation and keep her name in conversation to find justice for her and her family. So Natalee Ann Holloway was a beautiful blonde girl. She was 18 years old. She had just graduated from Mountain Brooks High School in Alabama, where she lived. And as a graduating senior, a lot of high schools have this senior trip that they go on. My high school didn't do that, but I know my cousin's high school did that, and high schools still today do this senior trip that you can go on. Natalee's senior trip was Thursday, May 26th of 2005. She and 125 other students from her school went to Aruba. Aruba is known as One Happy Island. It is one of my favorite places of all time. I have been there a few times. It is absolutely beautiful, and the last place on earth you are thinking if you're going on vacation with your friends that you are going to be murdered. So her and her class were scheduled to come home May 31st of 2005, and on their last day, May 30th, they all went to this club called Carlos and Charlie's. And at around 10 p.m. on their last night there, Natalee was last seen. Some of the students that were with her on the trip say that they last saw Natalee in a white car with a man by the name of Jeroen Vandersloot. When Vandersloot was questioned, he admitted that he was with her that night and that they went to the beach, and that after the beach he dropped her back at her hotel. However, his story keeps on changing. When he was asked by the police where he last saw Natalee, he said that he had left her on the beach. Now, Vandersloot swears that he is innocent, and being unable to pin anything against him, they had to let him go. But as investigators kept looking into this, eventually they hid some cameras around Vandersloot and where he was to kind of spy on him and see if they could find any information out. And one of the cameras caught him saying that he knows what happened to Natalee and he watched her die. Dave Holloway, Natalee's father, hired a private investigator to do their own investigation work on the case because the Aruban police were not helping as quickly as they needed to. There have been extensive searches gone into trying to find Natalee's body. They've dug up so many spots in Aruba. They've even dug up under the ocean sand to try and find her remains, but there has been nothing found. So Jeroen Vandersloot was the prime suspect because he was last seen with her, and a few years into this investigation, a man stepped forward by the name of Gabriel who says that his roommate was telling him things about the investigation that no one else knew. This man was John Ludwig. When John Ludwig was questioned, he told the police that Vandersloot tells him how he committed the crime, and he says that he helped Vandersloot hide Natalee's body. The way they disposed of this body is absolutely gruesome. In a documentary, Ludwig says that Joran Vandersloot crushed Natalee's bones until they were no longer recognizable as human remains. They also say to get rid of her hair fibers, they burned her skull in a fire pit. Yet, Ludwig was not charged. Because they could never find her remains, Joran Vandersloot was never brought up on charges regarding Natalee Holloway's death. Now, as I was thinking about Natalee Holloway and researching what exactly happened to her and other details, I found out that in 2017, they actually found remains in Aruba that they thought could belong to Natalee Holloway. But apparently, after doing some investigation, they thought that it was human remains, but it apparently is animal remains. Now, one of the creepiest things to me is that while I was reading about this investigation, I came across an article that was published March 15th, 2018, literally 11 days ago. And the article says that Ludwig's name didn't surface in the media reports for months until this week when he found himself in the center of a different tragedy. Authorities in Florida said Ludwig tried to kidnap a young woman from her driveway and was killed in the process. Police in Northport, Florida, about 80 miles south of Tampa, said the woman stabbed Ludwig in self-defense after he tried to abduct her outside her home Wednesday morning. Ludwig, a 32-year-old from Port Charlotte, ran away from the home but was found with stab wounds nearby, police said. He died at the hospital. Investigators did not say why Ludwig tried to kidnap the woman, but said the two knew each other. She has not been charged in the fatal stabbing. Police said the investigation is ongoing. It is also said that Vandersloot is now in prison serving a 28-year sentence for the murder of a 21-year-old Peruvian business student who was found dead in Lima. That being said, even though Ludwig and Vandersloot were never charged for the murder of Natalee Holloway, I think it almost goes without saying that they were the ones who killed her. Not only did Ludwig admit to saying that Joran was the one who murdered her, but he also admitted that he helped hide the body. I find it kind of psychotic almost that they almost got away with murder. I really find it crazy how they couldn't put him in jail because they couldn't find her remains to find any evidence against them. Or maybe that wasn't the circumstances. All I know is that Ludwig was not in prison after admitting that he helped hide her body and that he knew exactly what had happened to her. I mean, he helped hide the remains. Doesn't that make him an accessory to murder? I don't get how he wasn't in prison, and I don't get how Vandersloot is not in jail for Natalee Holloway. But all in all, I think that this is just one of the most tragic stories, and I just feel literally horrible for the family and Natalee herself. I mean, I can't even imagine going to go away to Aruba to have fun with my friends and then being kidnapped and killed. The last thing you ever expect to happen to you when you're on vacation in a happy place with a bunch of your friends is you're gonna get murdered. She had her whole life ahead of her. She was going to go to college. She just graduated high school. It is so heartbreaking. I literally just want to cry right now because I just feel horrible for her and her family and what this poor girl had to go through, why she had to go through it. It's just unfair. I hope that one day her family can find peace, as hard as it would be, and I hope that she can too. Anyway, thank you guys for letting me share this story with you. I hope you guys keep her name in your heads and her family, and keep this relevant so that nobody else can get away with stuff like this anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys on Wednesday.